Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a little sit down chat about my most recent celiac disease diagnosis and just answering some questions that a lot of people have asked me, and a bit of like a story time and what exactly it is and how everything's changed and all of that. So if you're interested, keep watching. So basically, if you don't know, celiac disease is an autoimmune disease where your body can't absorb gluten. So it's a gluten allergy. It's different to gluten intolerance, which some people think it is. Like, there's like the confusion between the two. It is an allergy. It's something that I will have for the rest of my life. It can't be treated, but going on a gluten-free diet does manage it. A whole lot of questions I've been asked is like, how did I get diagnosed? So we'll go through that first. So basically, beginning of this year, I was kind of like, trying to get different aspects of my health on track. So I was just getting like a few different blood tests and checking that all of like my levels of things were good. So like my iron, vitamins, hormones, all of those things, because I do have some other health issues that I wanted to keep on top of and things. And my cousin is a dietitian who has been helping me this year to like get things back on track. And she was asking me if I had any like bowel gastro related symptoms of things, and I had said that occasionally I would be like quite bloated and get a bit of abdo pain, but I also have endometriosis, so like the pain could have come from that. And I was like, I do get quite gassy a lot. So she was like, all right, just go and get it tested with all of the other things that you're getting tested, and we'll just like see what happens. So I was like, okay, fine. So that's one question, is how do you get tested for it? So I got a blood test. It's a like celiac antigen screening or something like that. I'll put the actual name here. But basically it checks like, I should probably look this up, hold on. Okay, so it's a celiac disease serology, and it tests total IgA, some kind of gliadin peptide IgG, and transglutaminase IgA. So my levels were all high, which was indicating celiac disease. So then I had to get referred to a gastroenterologist, where I got booked in for a gastroscopy. For those that don't know, that's where they put you under sedation and pop the camera down your throat and look into your bowel to like do investigations. And I had to get a biopsy to confirm that the diagnosis was correct, which it was. So I went on a gluten-free diet straight away, which was back in August, and we're now in December. So that's how you get diagnosed. Symptom-wise, I'm obviously 25 and didn't know that I had it beforehand. So I would say that my symptoms were quite mild, in the fact that when I ate gluten previously, like I didn't have to like run to the toilet and like have like loose stools and things. But like looking at my list of symptoms, they were like quite intense, I guess you could say. But I had no idea that I had it, and no other doctor has ever brought it up before. I guess I thought that all of my symptoms were kind of normal. Well, the hardest part would be like when you're going out to like restaurants and cafes and things, and like making sure that there's gluten-free options, which some places are really inclusive and have like many options, and some places will have one option or no options, which is quite frustrating. But I would say even more harder than that is now, because Christmas is coming up and I'm going to family members' houses and things. I'm like, do I trust that they're going to actually be gluten-free? Like, do they know how to read the labels? Are they just gonna serve normal food and I'm not gonna have anything to eat? So should I bring my own food? It's really difficult in that aspect. Another question that I get asked a lot is, do I miss eating pasta and breads and things like that? Or like, what food do I miss eating the most? In regards to pasta and stuff, I thought it was going to be way worse than what it really is. There is a lot of gluten-free versions of things out now. Some are good, some are not so good. but like the gluten-free pastas that I buy, I wouldn't even know that they're gluten-free if it didn't say it on the pack. And like the breads that I buy are good, and even like the cake packs, like packet cakes like Betty Crocker and stuff, they are phenomenal. Like you wouldn't know that they're gluten-free. I've like found so many like alternatives to things, like eat flours and everything, biscuits, even you can get gluten-free Vegemite. Like that's crazy to me. But I would say one thing that I have missed the most that I haven't found a substitute for would be Biscoff, because it's made on biscuits and they don't make a gluten-free one that I know of. Please tell me, if like, comment below if you can find one or an alternative to it, because I'm obsessed with that stuff and I haven't been able to eat it. Oh, and another thing is like fast food, like Macca's and stuff. Oh, KFC, like I'm like craving those sorts of things. But I've eaten a lot of Guzman because they do like the burrito bowls, like, which is rice based. Like their sauces and stuff that they use are all gluten-free, and it just makes life so much easier. I've also had a lot of people saying to me like, why can't you just eat like a little bit of gluten, like you've gone all of this time without being on a gluten-free diet, like just eat this, like it's not going to matter. But there's so many risks with having celiac disease that I had no idea about. I didn't even really know much about celiac disease, and even being a nurse I probably should have, but that's just not something that they ever taught us. But having the disease, because it's an autoimmune disease, it affects so many other aspects of your health, and if you continue to eat gluten, you are at risk of so many other things. So you're at a higher risk of getting like other autoimmune diseases, higher risk of like diabetes, different cancers, even thyroid issues, and you can't absorb things the way that you are, so you're often like deficient in a lot of things. So like I think part of that is the reason that I've got some other health issues, definitely not all, but some, like low iron and things like that, because my body hasn't been able to absorb nutrients the same way that it was if my bowel was able, like if it was proper, you know what I mean? So the point of going on the gluten-free diet is to improve your bowel so that it can absorb nutrients and puts you at less risk of all of those other health conditions. And that's why you can't just eat gluten for the fun of it. Like you need to be strict with it for the rest of your life. So I'm obviously only like recently diagnosed, like 4 months ago, so everything's still quite fresh. They said in like a year's time to go back and get another blood test to check that my levels have gone back to normal, which hopefully they have, and then I just carry on doing what I'm doing. If they're not back to normal, then I need to be maybe like a little bit more strict, and like, so I eat 100% gluten-free now that I'm aware of. If I've accidentally done it, then I have no idea, but I'm not purposely eating gluten. But things like, I'm still using the same toaster like in the household as people with bread that has gluten in it. So if my results aren't back to normal like in a year's time, then those are the things that I would change, and like say using a separate kitchen sponge and things like that. But overall I would say I'm doing pretty well, I think. Another thing that people are often asking as well is like, what foods have gluten in them? And so you've obviously got like your main things like your pasta, breads, that sort of stuff, but there is so many things that you would not think have gluten in them that do have gluten in them. So you need to be so careful, and like I had to learn about like how to read a food label and different words for gluten. So soy sauce, that has gluten in it. So many like different chocolates and lollies have gluten in them. A heap of different sauces, mostly like packaged seasonings will, like lots of stocks do, things like that. But the soy sauce and lots of lollies was definitely a shock to me, because I was like, who would have known? But most foods are pretty clearly labeled these days. Like they'll say contains gluten, or or it won't, or it will say gluten-free, which it makes things so much easier. I feel like for like my future households, like obviously I still live with my parents, so they've got things that they want to have in the kitchen that that's fine, that's up to them. But I feel like for like my future house and like family and things, I would probably have a gluten-free household, because I'm not going to buy Cam and our future kids their own pasta and buy me gluten-free pasta. Like, we'll just all eat the gluten-free pasta. Like, that just makes so much more sense. It's gonna be so much easier, less to pay, although gluten-free things are so damn expensive. Like, for a loaf of gluten-free bread that is smaller than an average loaf, I have to pay over $7. Like, what is that? Anyways, back to what I was saying. What was I saying? We will probably just have a gluten-free household. Or like, I mean, if they want like a certain biscuit or something, then sure, they can have that. But like, I'm not going to buy 2 lots of things just for the sake of it. Now, the reason that I filmed this video is because when I was first diagnosed, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go onto YouTube and find a video that's going to be able to help me. I could not find a single helpful video. When I typed in celiac disease, like, I wanted like someone like me to be filming a video, but it was like a bunch of health videos that I didn't care about. I wanted someone to be sitting down and telling me their personal experience. So that's why I'm filming this video, to be able to help somebody else out there and make their lives a little bit easier. So thank you for those that sent in questions. I hope it is helpful for those that need it. I hope that it was informative and somewhat interesting. And I guess I'll keep you posted with my lively updates in future videos. But for now, this is it. And thank you for watching.